Meg, mabalik ako sa iyo, no? What were they doing in Davao Oriental? Davao de Oro. I'm sure.
Same po na sinabi ni Dato Benz, no? They were really conducting research, rather an initial assessment and an environmental scanning of the area. No, such as what Dato Ben said, no, pag-scan sa kinaiyahan. Basically, it's to assess the location, the area, as well as considering na in Davao de Oro there were lumad schools who were closed, no, prior, which would be part of the counted closed schools out of the 137 lumad schools in Mindanao. So it's actually part, and there would no one else who would be more qualified than Chad and Jerain themselves, no, who actually, for Jerain, he's actually from Mindanao, and for Chad, who would considerably be from Mindanao himself as well, considering that he was a volunteer teacher in a lumad school, Alcadab nonetheless, no. So it's nothing out of the ordinary for them to be in Mindanao, for them to conduct research, most especially because they are educators themselves, no? And they are part of the lumad schools who would be reopening and rebuilding the schools, and who would be conducting the reopening of the schools once again, considering that the SOS Network views a new campaign to be launched, considering that the national elections are coming, and we would like to know what the new leaders of the country would plan for the lumad schools in Mindanao. So it's all, so it seems to me it makes me so angry, and even a lot of the conveners and the advocates, in lumad schools, in the mere practice of our rights, in even in the mere initial assessment and environmental scanning of these old lumad schools, are being turned into lies and seemingly illegal activities by the state forces themselves.
Meg, ako lang pangutana, based on your press statement kapon, you're demanding something.
Yes po.
Ano demands niyo?
First and foremost po, we're demanding justice, for these 5 victims, for Chad, for Teacher Joreen, for Miss Elgin, and for the 2 drivers who accompanied them to the area. But most especially po, we're calling for a fair, impartial, and thorough investigation of the incident that happened, the incident that led to the deaths of the New Bataan 5, the incident that led to the massacre of these 5 civilians, the incident that led to the deaths, of innocent lives, lives who were dedicated to the cause of advocating and for the education of the lumad. Something that has been barred from them, and a right that has been taken away from them for the past few years by the state itself.
Okay. And what about the bodies? Asa man ng mga lawas karon?
As for our initial reports po, nasa punerarya na po. So it's in the funeral home.
In Davao de Oro.
Yes po, and it's still being as our reports say po, na imbalsamo na ang mga lawas. But we're also waiting for all of the families to go and claim the bodies po, considering na, as we've stated in our press statement yesterday, na we actually expect delays from the military when it comes to claiming the bodies. That's why we're preparing as much as we can, even preparing for the worst case scenario. Para lang yun gusto namo nga makita o makuha yun ang lawas nila Chad, nila surgery, nila Miss Elgin. So duha ka
ba ninyo ipa-autopsy?
Natibuo.
Ang families autopsy?
We're actually pushing for an autopsy po, considering that it would be part of the thorough investigation, because once again, dili mi katuog yun sa kanang reports sa military nga kanang naay encounter nga nahitabo kay unsaon pagka-encounter sige na ay buto-buto but where did the firing come from? Did it come from two sides or did it come from one side? Nga civilian man sila Chad. So by the virtue nga
By the
civilian
way,
sila asa man sila gikan og armas.
do you see Chad and his group being armed? Are these people,
No.
they know how to use guns?
I Chad po is a very lanky figure and I don't think he's even able to carry a gun. No, we actually joke around with him na kanang Chad kanang iwang na kay ka kanang kaon po siguro gamay and Sir Jerain is kanang a man of a shorter figure. So it and Miss Elgin is a community health worker. So it seems very impossible for these three most especially no to bring guns no as and even to know how to fire guns considering that first and foremost what are their trainings. Chad and Sir Jerain are trained to teach no they're educators. Miss Elgin is a community health worker. If ever they had weapons of sorts no if Sir Jerain and Chad had weapons it would be the knowledge that they would impart to their students. If Miss Elgin had a weapon, it would be her stethoscope because she's a health worker.
Ikaw, Dato, basin ikaw ang nag-train sa ila. Dato, gatuo ka ba na armado si Chad, si Jurain ug si Elgin sa imong pagkaila sa ila?
Dili na sila armado. Nakita na mo sila nga kanang kami man gyud ang nagkinahanglan sa ilaha nga matudluan ang amo ang mga anak o kanang nagvolunteer sila nga mutudlo sa amo ang mga anak nga para lang makabalo sila umubasa, suwat ang amo mga anak. Pero dako namong pagsaludo sila nga nakatabang sa amo labi na pod silang duha ka teacher o usa ka kining gitawag namo nga si daday nga kanang community health worker nga nagatudlo pod sa amo ang unsaon pagpanambal. Kana sila dako gyud nga bakak kabalo naman ta karon sa NTFL ka nga daghan kaayo pamaagi nga kanang magtanom sa mga ebidensya labi na walay maka-witness sa imuha nga bansagan ka nga kuan kanang New People's Army.
So, imong tan-aw katong mga armas na supposedly na kitan sa mga sundalo. Ang imong tan-aw planting ka to?
So,
Planting? Planted?
Planted kuan ipambutang na lang na dito para makuan kanang murag magtapon sa ilang binuhatan.
Dato pasabta ko nganong pirmi man mo i-link sa NPA?
Kanang nganong itags mi nga MP tungod kay nagaisgot mi nga batok sa gobyerno kanang pagpanglapas sa tawanong katungod kanang managadepensya mi sa yutang kabilin nga dili masudlan sa mga dagkong kumpanya ang among komunidad kana ang gikalagutan sa Armed Forces of the Philippines nga gubaon ang amo ang panag-iyo sa diya sa isbutanan nga pagdepensa sa among yutang kabilin o katong pagdepensa namo sa amo ang lumad nga eskwelahan kana nga gitags mi nga mga terorista kami naabay mga terorista nga kanang magkuan kanang giingon ang teacher gitawag na nga terorista kay nagatudlo og mga katungod unya kami pod nga nagadepensa sa yutang kabilin nga giingnan pud mi nga ang mga lumad mga terorista pero nagadepensa lang mi sa amo ang katungod labi na sa amo ang pagpaeskwela sa among mga bata nga dili kanunay nga mailad sa kanang grabing pagpangyatag sa tawanong katungod kana ang ilaha nga gubaon ang amo ang panag-iusa sa katawang lumad.
Okay.
Ang ako ang gikundina namo nga ang pagpatay sa 5 ka mga tao nga ikundina namo ang kanang pamatay sa brutal nga pagpatay sa amo ang mga teacher sa lumad school nga kinahanglan maimbestigahan sa hinanali nga panahon ang ilang kamatayon. Kay dili gyud ko katuo kay kanang akong nakitaan murag giguyod-guyod yun dito sa kasagbutan. Unya kanang wanay mga kuan dili gyud ko katuo. Ang ilahang gikuan karon kay kuan kanang gitrutture yun sila dito pag-ayo. Sakit kaayo ang ilang nagian.
So on that note, I'd like to thank both of you for granting us this interview. Salamat.